I don't know. I can't hear you. Oh, I can hear me.
Hold on.
It's football and other F
football
words.
and other F words.
There we go. Now I hear
we
you.
go.
Now we're off to a hot start.
I mean, I literally turned on the microphone. We got someone broke the bottom of the microphone, so
Somebody's always doing something, man.
I tell you, these people.
These people these
These people. Nobody, this is a mecca of sports talk, but also just introspection.
days. Yeah.
Like we treat this as a temple. And you can tell these people just want to shit in our temple.
Yeah.
And not
that's
flush.
True. That's true.
It's a little ridiculous.
We've talked about the flush habits in this building before.
Well, it helped someone on this show start flushing.
I wasn't going to say that on air. But
Yeah,
you know
but
what?
I mean, listen, I get it.
We don't know who it helped, but it helped
we don't
someone.
know who it helped, but it
We didn't
was one
say.
of the three of us.
We didn't say. Yeah.
Let's start off the show with a huge announcement, massive announcement.
What?
Biggest announcement, maybe. Okay, well, I will say this. This is at least the second biggest announcement football and other F words in its entire history has ever made.
What was the first one?
The first one was announcing the live 2019 draft show where we had Will Compton and
Wasn't Jayon Brown there?
Jayon Brown. That's the other guy I was trying to
Yeah.
think of. Jayon Brown. We had that little Luke kid that was from A to Z. What was his name for a little bit of time?
I don't know, man.
It wasn't Luke McCaffrey.
If it was Luke McCaffrey.
It wasn't Luke McCaffrey, but
Luke Wilson?
no. What was his name? Oh man, he used to write for A to Z. Then he used to be on the other podcast that wanted to try to be football and other F words. Can't remember what it was. Either way, his name was Luke, and he was awesome. And we had Tehran on, had a bunch of different people on. So this is the second biggest announcement.
Okay.
Because that was Nashville's first live draft. So here's the second biggest announcement. Next week, we're going to announce what we're going to do for the draft. So then this will get bumped down to the third most important announcement.
Gotcha.
And then next week will be the most important announcement. So it's going to jump the 2019 announcement.
But we're telling people, well, I don't know what we can and can't say. So
we're telling people, because we told people last week, go ahead and mark off, keep those dates open.
Keep the dates open for the draft.
And now we can comfortably say that each of those days, that Thursday, that Friday, that Saturday, guess what? We got a spot.
F Words Live.
There you go.
How about that?
There you go.
I'm stoked, man.
Luke Worsham. That's his name.
Luke Worsham. I never met Luke.
Great guy. Great guy. I loved his football stuff and everything, but I just couldn't remember his last name. So, next weekend, or next Thursday, next podcast, you guys will know where the football and other F words live in-person show for Thursday and Friday is going to be.
Yeah.
And then the all-day round 4 through 7. All the way to pick 225.
Yeah.
Because Tennessee Titans just fucked us on that. 225.
Yeah.
We will be there. Like, it is a live all-day show.
It's a bonanza.
Oh, a total bonanza.
An extravaganza.
We may have special guests. And I know that our usual guests are JT and Easton.
Yeah.
No offense to them. But we may have special guests.
Yeah. I don't know anything about that. So that's news to me. But
Well, we're just going to wing it.
I
That's
can
a
try.
typical football and the F word style. We're just going to wing it.
I can try and get some special guests.
And I'll say this. It's going to be awesome. It's in a great place. Both, first off, it may be 2 locations. Could be 3 locations.
Yeah.
Could be a riddle wrapped inside Enigma, wrapped inside Ross's butt.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to get there, and this is going to be a special show.
Ross, are you coming? You going to be
What?
part of the party?
TBD.
TBD? I hope you're there.
It's going to be awesome.
It's
And,
gonna
and
be a
listen,
good time.
for the first 2 nights, just so everybody's aware, the first 2 nights are in-person exclusives.
Yeah. So we won't be
Live streaming.
We won't be live streaming anyway.
No. We may live stream our pick reactions
Yeah.
on our personal Twitter accounts, but if you're going to be on Zone TV, you're going to have to come in person.
You have to show up.
You have to show up.
Come
And
shake our hands.
And I will say this. It's going to be very easy for those that are strictly Nashville fans of ours. How about that? I think that's good. I think
That's
covers
good enough.
everything.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get in trouble for that.
Yeah. So there you go. If you're tuning in now for our reactions to the jerseys, the new jerseys, here we go. Here's our reactions. I'm going to look in the camera first. Look at you in the camera. Look just like jerseys.
They're
Okay,
jerseys.
now, what's your reactions?
They're jerseys. They're
We
going
got
to
it.
wear jerseys next year.
We nailed it.
Are we curmudgeons about this? Because I feel like there's everybody's so excited about this, and I could not give a shit less about these jerseys.
I will say this. Everybody loved the last jerseys until they started losing them.
Yeah.
And everybody loved the last jerseys until they saw the number 1 or a certain number. I can't get excited about it. Like, if this was at, a place where you can get an all-you-can-eat buffet, prime rib, that's rare to medium rare, hopefully rare plus, oyster bar, raw bar, whatever you want to call it, and free beer, I'd be all up in it.
Yeah,
like,
for
I
sure.
would not be here doing this show if that's how they did the jerseys. And the jerseys have already been leaked on Reddit anyway. And I'm going to be honest, look like jerseys.
They look like jerseys. The only thing that's entertaining to me tonight is, are they going to be able to find the leaker, and is the person going to be strung up by their toenails?
Yeah.
I will say the cool thing about their jerseys is that they're jerseys.
They are jerseys.
That is a pretty cool
That
thing.
is true. And you know what's even more important? They come with helmets.
Yeah, and they come with pants too.
That's a huge one.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't come with pants, things be thanging out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, the pictures that have leaked, things are already thinging.
No. Well, that is true.
I mean,
they could have done a little bit of,
It's like, do y'all remember the cover of Sports Illustrated where they put Kaepernick and Russell Wilson on it?
Yeah.
But they have Russell Wilson standing there and just the clearest dick print ever.
Yeah.
It's like they just put Russell Wilson's penis on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
And that's what's on the helmet for the Tennessee Titans.
Russell Wilson's penis.
Dick.
Mr. Unlimited.
Got him.
And there's going to be socks, cleats.
Cleats even.
Oh,
yeah.
man, yeah. And some helmets may have visors.
What do you think about, are they going to be able to play football in them?
Well, football well.
Just play football in general.
I think they will be able to.
Do you think we can get some to wear?
Probably not after this.
No. Yeah, you're probably right.
But I will say this. Jackson was trying to sell us on it, MAGA radio. He was trying to sell us on, this whole idea, brainwash us, if you will.
Yeah.
And he goes, but what if all the players come out? All the new players that they just signed come out and are wearing jerseys. They go, so we're just looking at a bunch of dudes on stage wearing jerseys?
What
Are
is
they
this?
wearing their pads even? I mean, what are we even doing here?
Is this WrestleMania or something?
Yeah.
What are they going to do?
Oh, if it was WrestleMania, we'd be there. Like, if these guys started, climbing ladders, throwing chairs, and all this kind of stuff, but, I mean, they're not even doing that.
Yeah. I'm not a jersey guy.
What do you think about this? If they wouldn't have had this jersey party, and if they would have
Is that what they're calling it? The
Well,
jersey
yeah,
party?
or coming out party or whatever it may be. If
think
they
that's
wouldn't have had
different,
this
but okay.
reveal party,
Yeah.
would they have been able to get Charlie Kohler over Daniel Bellinger?
Ooh, that's the real question.
I mean, there's a lot of cash going to this reveal party. Just
That's
saying.
true. Well, I don't know what they're doing there, though. Are they just letting people in the door and then they're just like the jerseys are hanging up?
fucking knows? Like Easton and all these guys, PK, Buck, they're all going back and forth about like what's proper etiquette. Here's all I know. Who gives a fuck? So TB Kit says Cam's aura will make any jersey look good. And I would encourage you to go to the Tennessee Titans post that came overnight where it looked like a child in the shadows wearing the jersey and the helmet. Sorry, they zapped Cam of all aura with that picture.
That picture looked like, I can't think of his name, Bobby Boucher from The Waterboy.
Okay, it pissed me off that people didn't know who that was, too. Like, did you not see the elastic in the sleeves? You're like, oh, is that Big Jeff?
It was Ross.
Well, I mean, the fact that
clearly pissed.
No, let me say something. I agree in this instance, in this example. If you thought that was Big Jeff, you may need LASIK.
Oh, no.
And I just got LASIK. Thing? Well, that's what he said. That's what he just said. That
no, I was being funny, but they were saying it could be Chim or something. I was like, they have elastic in the sleeves.
Oh, I just thought it was a small child. I thought it was like, Bryce Wasserman and Amy Armstrong's kid. That was their child that's been locked away in a basement somewhere. I don't know.
I saw that and thought it was a mannequin.
I'm just saying that was it. My first instinct when I was scrolling through it was like stock photo, someone's child, and maybe this was going to be like this part of a reveal, like they were going to like here's a small child in a uniform, and then we're going to show a little bit of glimpse of the uniform, and then here's someone that's an actual like preteen, and then a teenager, then an adult. Instead, they just showed Cam and made him look like a small child.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know.
Okay. Are we done with the jersey talk? Do you think we covered everything?
I just want to say be more cognizant of your players' bulges, please. Don't hang our guys out to dry like that.
I love it. Love it. All right. Here's the real shit that matters. Because it doesn't matter what your fucking jersey looks like if you can't win games, if you can't play the sport of football. Yeah. And I get, like, here's the curmudgeon part. We're just haters. That's fine. I don't give a shit. I don't care if you look at the Cleveland Browns. Do you really give a shit if you're a Cleveland Browns fan that their colors are brown? Or do you care that the colors are brown and your team is constantly shit?
I could not tell you the difference between the new Browns uniforms and the last ones because the Browns have sucked and they're just completely irrelevant. So I have no reference point.
They could be any color.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter.
Brown and orange.
Brown. That is the colors that they are.
I know they got brown and orange in them. That's about it.
But I mean, what I'm saying is like, it doesn't matter if your team can't win. And right now, the Tennessee Titans are such an interesting case study. Yeah. Because there's many different ways you can go about their offseason. The fact that they've relied heavily on people that they know.
Mm-hmm.
They've relied heavily on defense, which seems to signal that they're not going to go defense at number 4 overall. We'll get there.
But that's also something that you and I have been saying on this show is like lean into the strengths of the market, and the market was
the defense. And also we've been talking about Jeremiah Love, and we see every day more people come around to our Jeremiah Love and try to make it their own, and that's fine. We understand. Bunch of copycats.
I mean, we were talking about that in October on Titans Talkback.
I mean, they're just kind of crazy with that kind of stuff. So, all this to say, you look at, let's start here. And I know I asked you this a couple of days ago when you were on Cover 2, but I want you've now had a little bit more time. The free agency strategy by Mike Bergonzi last year versus the free agency strategy of Mike Bergonzi this year. How do you feel about it?
It's very curious because I do feel like last year was, for the most part, plugging holes with mercenaries, 1-year deals, no long-term solutions. And I feel like this year they've added a few guys that could really be long-term players for for the Titans. But I also think, man, and I don't know, maybe you or Ross has a better memory of this, but I don't feel like last year or maybe even the year before, they placed a premium on getting guys that Brian Callahan and Denard Wilson had worked with before. And I could be mistaken on that, but it kind of felt like Mike Borgonzi was a little more willing to lean into the wants of the coaching staff and to get guys that had extensive experience with Brian Dable and Robert Saleh. And so I get the approach, and I do think I'm really stoked about adding Cordell Flott and Alante Taylor to the cornerback room. I think those guys can be your starting corner pair for the foreseeable future. But there is this voice in the back of my head that is still like, okay, but like, did they place a premium on getting familiarity over pursuing real upgrades in talent?
Well, to your point, this was kind of what we were talking about, or I was talking about this with a bunch of people in one of my group chats was, wow, man, I hope the NFL changes the entire way that they count wins and losses, in the fact that hopefully how much the coach likes you means that you get to win more games.
Yeah.
And that's not a slight just at the whole strategy of the offense or the defense and all that kind of stuff, but I can't remember who at the Jordan Elliott. It was like, everybody's like, oh, Jordan Elliott totally replaces Tavondre Sweat. Well, that's not true, because Tavondre Sweat was a plus run stuffer, way better than Jordan Elliott has ever been in his career. And this is not a slight Jordan Elliott, but the fact is that just because you like a player doesn't mean that means you're going to get the production on the field.
Yeah.
And so I do agree with a certain point or at least to a certain extent, that it's not going to be the most perfect method, but I also, like, from a high level situation, looking at this team, they are trying to raise the bar, not just at spots 1 through 4, but at spots 5 through 8.
Yeah, sure. So, and I think you can look at last year's New England Patriots as a good example of getting free agents that are familiar with your system,
right?
That fit the culture you want to have.
I think the Titans are less relying on starters than what even the Patriots were.
Yeah,
the Patriots relied heavily on those guys being starters.
But just generally speaking, I do think, okay, there's a case study in this approach working. I do think there's something to be said for the fact that now Brian Dable on offense in every room except for the running back room has a guy that he's familiar with that can probably coach up the other players a little bit on expectations. Like, this is the system, this is how he wants it run, that sort of thing. And so maybe there is a trickle-down effect from whether it's Schlotman in the O-line room, Bellinger with the tight ends, Wan'Dale Robinson with the wide receivers, Trubisky with the quarterbacks.
Can we say something real quick? Schlotman, like, that's not how you spell your name.
Big Schlotty.
Sorry, it's spelled Schlotman.
The Schlotum.
And that's on you.
Yeah.
That's on him.
Yeah, it's his fault.
Yeah, totally his fault.
I get it. So I get the hope is, and with all the guys that are familiar with Robert Saleh, which they just added Tony Adams before we went on the air, like
Kylan Granson.
I get, like, the vision is that, okay, well, if we have guys that know the way we want to do things, maybe this whole thing can gel a little bit quicker. But there is still that voice in the back of my head that says, I don't know, man, should they have made a bigger push for some of the more talented available free agents?
Well, I think...
And will that come back to bite them eventually?
Well, let's start with center. I mean, I think center is a perfect example of everything that we're talking about. And they... Unless they sign, like, Ethan Pochik or whatever. Yeah, sure, him too. unless they sign him, they failed at center.
Yeah.
And what you are starting to see is that they failed at a position of need. And listen, you
that
can't
they
help.
created.
Listen, it's how they created it, but they also can't control it, right? Like you can't control that God dang, was general manager of the Buffalo Bills?
Billy Bean.
Yeah, Billy Bean woke up.
Brandon Bean.
Brandon Bean. Damn it.
Some kind of Bean.
Brandon Bean is who it is. Billy Bean is from the Oakland Athletics.
Oh, the Moneyball guy.
Yeah, the Moneyball guy.
Okay.
But they can't help that Brandon Bean woke up and said, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm about to lose a bunch of people on my offensive line. I better keep them." They can't help that, the Las Vegas Raiders, paid a buttload of money to Tyler Linderbaum. Like, they can't help all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they're also now, after telling PK a week ago that they're looking for a veteran center, they're now telling a bunch of people that, well, we planned for this with Jackson Slater. And this is not a slight at Jackson Slater. Well, this is a peek behind the curtain. Well, they're telling you one thing. They failed. Well, failed may be a strong word, but they didn't achieve what they set out to do. And now they're out here telling you, well, we got Sloatman, who can't even pronounce / spell his name right.
Yeah.
And Jackson Slater, and you guys got to be comfortable with this. And from what I have heard is that Corey Levin was on the table, but after how free agency started, they were willing to let Corey Levin hit free agency because they wanted to see how the draft went. So after telling you through PK and what he heard and what he reported, that they were looking for a veteran center, they ended up with none of the guys on that list. And they're now trying to sell you on Jackson Slater. And to be honest, PK's article is very down the middle about Jackson Slater, saying that, hey, a lot of people have reservations and this and that. And then you got Sloatman.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear that Corey Levin signs elsewhere. And then, hey, well, they may be waiting until after the draft. And that may how the draft falls. That, to me, is a huge concern, to your point. Like, my concern in this draft, edge has moved down precipitously down the list. If you're still holding out hope for edge up top, you're not paying attention to what's going on with your Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
Because right now, what's going on with your Tennessee Titans is a trenches issue on the offensive side of the ball, a playmaker issue on the offensive side of the ball, and that's where it stops the starts for right now.
Yeah.
And so I'm very concerned, and I think that people need to start paying attention. And listen, don't try to tell me it's okay. Well, it'll work out. It'll be fine. They got Sloatman and they got Jackson Slater. And I am rooting for Jackson Slater to find his spot on the offensive line at some point. You know I am.
Yeah.
But we also have to take a step back from the emotional and look at how things work in the NFL. And this is a bad path that the Tennessee Titans have taken. Some of it within their control, some of it without being in their control. And so we have to just step back and be honest. It's like it's no big deal to say that Daniel Bellinger got overpaid.
Yes.
Am I freaking out about the Daniel Bellinger signing by saying that? No. He got overpaid. Guess what? Every free agent gets overpaid.
That's the game.
But he's not worth what he got paid. Now, the market will say, and people will go, well, that's what the market said. Well, who's outbidding you for Daniel Bellinger? Who's outbidding you for Charlie Kolar? Like, there's a bunch of guys out there that you kind of question and say, who's outbidding you for these guys? But when it comes to center, you know exactly who's outbidding you. It's the guys that cut centers, and you knew the market and how it was going to go. And I don't know if they adjusted properly to that.
That's what it feels like. And even if you wanted to say, let's see how the draft goes, for one, I think that's reckless in and of itself because I don't think there's a center in this class that I've watched just yet. I know Bustin's going to yell at me about Logan Jones, but I haven't watched a guy yet that some guy from Iowa. I haven't watched a guy yet that I look at and I say, fuck yeah, week one, that can be a dude. Like these are all, even at the top of the center class, there's a lot of guys that you're kind of like, yeah, maybe if this, then that. And I feel like there are some healthy questions, some healthy debate. There's a reason that there's not a center that's projected to go in the first round this year unless we want to go down the rabbit hole of moving Spencer Fano to center. But it's not a class where you say, you know what, we can pass on all these free agents. We're good because we're going to get a guy in the draft that we know is ready to play. Maybe you're putting a lot of faith in your offensive line coaches to get somebody up to speed, but it seems irresponsible to me that you had a guy, and I've said this to you several times, some of their actions feel like get rid of guys from the old regime just for the sake of getting our own guys in. I get that Corey Levin, probably not going to be your long-term plan at center. Okay. You can't convince me that he wasn't, at a certain point in how this thing shook down, your best option to start the season with. If you wanted to draft a guy, Corey Levin would have been a good guy to have in place to start the season with and eventually move to your rookie. But they didn't even do that, which takes me back to something you said a second ago, that it seems like the plan shifted, things changed, and they didn't adjust with it. And then they got caught with their pants down. And all of a sudden, the center market dries up. All these guys they couldn't even get Luke Fortner. I'm over here pounding the table for Luke Fortner, despite you telling me how much he sucks.
Well, what other people told me.
And they couldn't even get him. Where did he go? Carolina?
Carolina, because Cade Mays.
Cade Mays goes to Detroit.
Yeah.
They weren't even in on Tyler Biadasz.
And to be honest, Graham Glasgow's still out there, and there's people that are still out there.
Yeah.
But at some point, the plan has to come into focus.
Yeah, and that's where I'm kind of like, I don't know. At a certain point, I'm all for prudence. I have preached prudence on this show all off season, but the center spot is somewhere. I'm not saying go spend $30 million on Tyler Linderbaum, but and maybe some of this is out of their control, but go chase some talent there. I'm fine with that.
Well, why not be in on the Cade Mays sweepstakes?
Yeah, Cade Mays would have been perfectly fine.
And I get the people are like, well, it'll be fine because free agency's not over, this and that. It'll be fine. I've already seen people in the chat saying that. And at the same time, I understand why you're saying that. But who is that?
Yeah, I mean those.
I mean that's the thing. Like people are like, well, sinners will get cut. At this point, whoever is getting cut, I will go ahead and I said this last year. I've said this 2 years. This will be probably the 5th year I've said this. People that get cut, released in the summer suck.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no other way to put it.
Well,
like they're not good. That's why they're getting cut in the summer, because they're getting cut because they're not one of the 90 best players on their team.
Well, and so another way of saying that is like the first wave free agency guys, they're first wave free agency guys for a reason.
Yeah. Jahad Ward just didn't sign with anybody. He's set on free agency for forever. Find me that center. That's very rare.
Yeah.
And even then, he didn't outperform Jalen Harrell on a per snap basis. So there you go.
Yeah.
My thing is that the guys that get cut, they get cut now.
Mm-hmm.
They get cut like Elton Jenkins just got cut.
Yeah.
The guys that get cut in the summer, they stink.
They're cut because they're not up to the standard.
They're not one of the best 90 players on their own team. So you're wanting that guy to come in and start for you?
Yeah.
And I will say this. Corey Levin, respect what he has done.
Yeah.
Austin Schlottman, same thing. I mean, he's the same guy. That's a 1-for-1. So all you guys that wanted Corey Levin to start, not saying you, but you in general, that wanted Corey Levin, you guys should be happy. Or Austin Schlottman is the same thing.
You think I see, I haven't watched a lot of the Big Schlot yet. Do you think he's better than Corey Levin?
They're the same. That's what I'm saying. They're a 1-for-1 swap. But that's not what you need if you got a young quarterback. You don't need 1-for-1 swaps. You need, I'll be honest, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. They shouldn't have cut Lloyd Cushenberry.
Yeah, it's
because their plan.
Well,
they cut Lloyd Cushenberry too early. You can still cut Lloyd Cushenberry right now. You wouldn't have gotten any extra penalties or anything like that or extra gain. Instead, Tennessee Titans decided, well, he just had shoulder surgery, so let's make sure that we do our physical now where we know he won't fail it or won't pass it. And now they're at it's kind of similar to the situation with Calvin Ridley, right? Calvin Ridley's still on this team for a reason. And they should have done it the same way with Lloyd Cushenberry.
Well, see,
and that reason is that there's nobody out there better right now than Lloyd Cushenberry, where you could have kept Lloyd Cushenberry, and if you signed someone or found someone, then you could have cut Lloyd.
Then you cut him. And that's one of the things I would point to as evidence of, like, they just seem to be getting rid of the old guard simply for the sake of bringing new people in. Like, it just seemed incredibly premature to do that, because now they've created a hole for themselves that they didn't have before.
Right.
And they had a ton of holes to fill before cutting Lloyd Cushenberry. So that's where I kind of get like, I get a little hung up, because I think, like, man, this is going to be really difficult, because let's operate under the pretense that Jackson Slater has come along, even though he sat on that couch back in the summer and said, they want me to be a really good guard before they start worrying about playing me at center. So I guess that just miraculously did an about face with a new coaching staff that I'm sure they were up to speed on their Jackson Slater film and evaluation. So I guess that's why we're changing course there.
I'm not going to discount that Carmen Brasillo loved him some Jackson Slater.
Well, that's fair. I mean,
if you're watching Jackson Slater,
O-line guys love Jackson Slater. You can't. To me, like, if you don't love Jackson Slater, you can't call yourself an O-line guy. But larger point being, like, how up to speed were they on that situation? Because all inclination I had was that, oh, he's going to be a guard, and maybe next summer we'll work on center. And now all of a sudden it's, oh, no. He's been cross-training at center. He's been snapping the ball and all that. But let's say that's been the plan all along. That's great. The fuck are you going to do at right guard then? The fuck are you going to do at right guard? Because Kevin Zeitler's not back yet. I mean, do you think Cordell Volson's going to flip to right guard? Like, he hasn't been able to stay on the field. Like, I get the talent, I get the promise, but
oh man, we're about to get into something deep here.
Are we going to get in trouble? Are we going to get a phone call about this show?
I'm going to try and be as nice as possible.
Okay.
I think once a free agent signs with any team, you're going to have people that go and find the highlights and champion those highlights and try to tell fans why this person will start for your team.
Yeah.
Or only the good for this player. I think those accounts or those people that do that do a massive disservice to their fan base.
Mm.
And I will go back to the whole Daniel Bellinger thing. All I said was, yikes, that's an overpay. I did not say anything about Daniel Bellinger, the player. Daniel Bellinger's ability, other than he's at best, an average blocker and a below average pass catcher, which he is.
I mean, he's
And
solid.
that's fine. He's solid. He is getting paid to be a guy that is going to get, in terms of snaps, tight end 1 snaps.
Yeah.
In terms of snap count percentage. Now, it's up to Gunnar Helm to change everybody's mind about that, but that's what he's getting paid for. And good luck to Gunnar Helm. But I think people that just look at every free agent and just say, well, he's awesome. Here's what he does. That's exactly what he's going to do here, has totally whitewashed every free agency in existence. Because first off, there is no way that some of these, every free agent signing is going to turn out the way that everybody thinks it does.
They rarely
Same
hit
with
it
the
100%.
draft. And it's the same people who want to trick you about Familiarity college tape and his pro tape. They want to convince you it's something it's not because they want him to succeed.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I get it. The general fan thinks that every free agent signing is going to succeed. I've been there. I've fallen into that trap. Sylvester Williams comes to front of mind.
Oh, man.
I thought Sylvester Williams was going to be something for the Tennessee Titans because he was something at Denver.
Yeah.
And boy, was I fucking wrong.
They signed Jadeveon Clowney, and I went on shows saying this is the missing piece for a Super Bowl run.
Right. Like, it happens.
It does.
But over time, we have to just be honest with the fans. We have to be honest with the people that listen to this show.
Yeah.
And honesty, it's almost like clarity, right? Like, we're going to be honest with where we're at in the moment, but clarity may come later.
Yeah.
And what I've gotten some post-free agency clarity over the years of my life. And it's okay to say that a player got overpaid because guess what? It's free agency. Every player gets overpaid.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's okay to say that right now, the Tennessee Titans royally screwed up their interior offensive line plan. And you can get talked to into Austin Slopeman. You can get talked to into Cordell Volson. If you start really squinting and looking at only their highlights, their big plays, you can get talked to in Jacob Martin.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Jalen Harrell, better than Jacob Martin and Jihad Ward last year. You can squint and look at it and you go, well, they got Jackson Slater. Well, we don't know what Jackson Slater is. And free agency, again, it's a fickle beast.
Yeah.
But we can't sit here and just say, well, plan C and plan D and plan E, well, those are fine. It'll be fine because they still got guys that were on their board.
Yeah. And I mean, the ugly part of this, I really feel like we're raining on everybody's parade tonight, but it's not meant to be that way. We're just trying to be objective about this, is that, okay, well, this is year 2 for Mike Borgonzi. This roster was in a rough shape when he took over. You and I have been talking about how bad this roster is for years now.
And they're raising the floor. No matter what I say about Slopeman and all these guys, they are raising the floor.
But it's still at a state where you can't have too many errors. You can't have too many missteps or slip-ups because the rebuild is still in a fragile enough state that a move like this can greatly impact where you can allocate your resources throughout the draft. And so now you start looking at it and it's like, okay, bigger picture, like if this type of stuff doesn't get cleaned up right away, I mean, this is still a franchise that the last few years has been moving on at a pretty decent clip from GMs, from head coaches, from decision makers that aren't yielding results. So it kind of goes back to how many situations like this will this regime be able to survive before we start feeling more of that pressure and it leads to more change, which ultimately is what is going to keep this franchise in the purgatory it's been in for the last few years.
And listen, I'm not saying you shouldn't root for these players to succeed. Neither of us are.
And I want to be clear, I'm not saying Mike Borgonzi's going to get fired in a year because of the center situation.
I mean, he may not even last a year with our ownership. But what I'm saying is that you can't sit here and pump sunshine and rainbows in the garage and get, monoxide poisoning while the engine's running.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's what you guys are doing if you guys just want rainbows, unicorns, glitter, all that kind of stuff. We've never been that show. We may have been that show in certain moments, but since the history of football and other efforts, we've never been that show.
Yeah, we're that show when they pick the guys that we like.
Yeah, we're that show.
And when they don't, we're not.
But, like, you can hope, and I hope, like, I do hope that Jackson Slater or Cordell Volson or Femi Oladejo or even Jalen Harrell, who has shown more than most of those guys I just named, I hope those guys turn into all pros and Pro Bowls.
Yeah.
Name me the last guy that's done that. I hope those guys turn into starters, a 6th-round pick, a late 5th-round pick.
Yeah.
A 2nd-round project that is switching positions. Like, I hope all those guys turn into even just capable starters.
Yeah. Yeah.
But have you watched the Tennessee Titans over the last 20 years? Those guys are very few and far between. So you're asking not only for one player to break the mold, you're asking several players to break the mold.
Yeah.
And what the Tennessee Titans are telling you by their actions, at least on the defensive line for a 4-3 defense, is that they're raising a bar. You look at what they're doing at corner. They're raising the bar. Now, have they raised the bar at every position? No, not yet. Deals are still to be made, like some people have said. But when you start looking at where free agency is starting to fall, where the draft is starting to kind of even out, this team is in a weird situation that bears monitoring at center and right guard for right now. And I know a lot of people love Kevin Zeitler. We talked a little bit about this last week. I've talked a little bit about this on Cover 2. I think that the data on Kevin Zeitler, he is really beneficial of people that don't know offensive line play. And I think he benefited extremely from everybody wanting to take a shit and crap on J.C. Latham.
Yeah.
And if you went and watched the film and watched the All-22, Kevin Zeitler probably is not as good as what you thought he was in your head or what the data suggests.
I would agree with that, yeah.
And so I'd be very careful even bringing him back.
But I'd still, like,
he's better than the alternative.
Next to JC, and at a position where communication and continuity is so important as a unit, like, I would feel okay. And then it affords Jackson Slater the luxury of continuing to develop, work on his game, and then maybe next year we're having the conversation of this dude's ready to be the starting right guard.
Because none of us are saying that Cush was amazing.
No, at
least me and you aren't saying that Zeitler was amazing. I know there's many other people that will say Zeitler is amazing. Cush is better than the alternative. The known is better than the unknown.
It at the very least, those guys in place bought you another year to shore up more urgent needs and maybe take some developmental guys in the draft or as undrafted free agents, bring them into camp and see what you got there. Lest we forget, Clay Webb is still on the practice squad. Can't forget about him. But at the very least, Cushenberry and Zeitler bought you time. And now you don't have that time anymore. And you still have all the holes you had before.
Right. That to me is the biggest thing, is that I never want to go into a free agency where I create holes when I don't have to.
Yeah.
And that's why
Yeah.
I was like, okay, well, and he's still here for right now. That's why I wouldn't cut Calvin Ridley. And I said the same thing about Lloyd Cushenberry. Before they even cut him, I said, I wouldn't cut Lloyd Cushenberry because I don't think the center free agency class is deep enough. And I don't think the center draft class is deep enough. I think you're taking a risk. And then don't you want some familiarity with Cam Ward and the guy
Yeah.
in front of him?
Mm-hmm.
And listen, again, I don't mind that Jack Slater is getting a shot. I don't mind that Austin Schlottman is getting the big Schloat is getting a shot. What I mind is that right now, that is the plan.
Yeah.
If they do not draft a guy, you're looking at Schlottman and Jackson Slater and Cordell Volson at right guard.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the best strategy to roster building.
I'll say this, an important distinction in there. I don't think it would bother me if that was the plan, if we thought that was the plan all along. But this plan kind of conflicts with the plan that was reported by PK, where you wanted to go the veteran center route, and now all of a sudden it's different. And
I would still have issues
where,
with it, just because even if they came out and said what you're saying,
mm-hmm.
that, hey, we're going to go a younger, maybe a slightly more inexperienced route, I would have problems with that, because I would say, well, why are you doing that to your second-year quarterback?
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but at least it's conviction, and by that, it's like, okay, well, they at least have the plan. This kind of feels like you got punched in the mouth because maybe you weren't aggressive enough, and now you have to change the plan. If I don't know if I'm doing a good job of explaining.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying.
It's
I just don't.
It's the conviction issue.
Yeah, I think that you can't have too much conviction going into free agency. This is more of roster building, not what you're saying. But, like, for me, you have to be able to kind of read the tea leaves. And it feels like
Yeah.
they did a poor job of that. They should have got LASIK from Dr. Horn.
Very
like I
well
did.
said. Who?
Dr. Horn.
Oh, I thought you said. Oh, you said LASIK.
Yeah.
I thought you said Lacey. Like
Well, they should have got
Like
Lacey, too. From
Eddie Lacy?
Dr. Horny.
Eddie Lacy can come play center.
Well, yeah, probably. I don't know what size he is, but he could probably pay if he's was on the same weight trajectory as
Mhm.
he was when he was playing in the NFL at running back. That Eddie Lacy could probably do both center and right guard.
Can I have a side tangent here real quick?
You sure can.
If I'm a scout, I'm fucking licking my chops at this scenario. Because I'm saying, all right, let's go deep in our bag. Let's find a guy. Like, this is what you do. This is the fun part of evaluating talent,
Yeah.
is finding those guys where you see something in them that nobody else sees, and you see the traits that your organization values and covets, and a guy that you think you can work with. Like, this is where if you're a scout, if you believe in your personnel department, you believe in your decision makers, you let them roll up their sleeves and get to work here, and you go fucking find a guy, because I guarantee you there's good football players everywhere if you're looking. So if it's Jackson Slater and the big Schlotem, and you go and you add a guy as an undrafted free agent, Cayena DeCambra out of Arizona, maybe you draft Logan Jones out of Iowa, you put those four big old ham hocks in a room and you see who walks out. Like, there's a creative way to do it. I don't think it should be all doom and gloom. And I'm not saying it's all doom and gloom inside the building, but this is a point where I should say allegedly, what we're the idea that we're operating under is that things didn't necessarily go to plan. Too fucking bad. Trust your people that you've put in positions to do this work for you. Find a solution.
I agree.
I'm excited about it. This makes me want to go back and like, oh man, well maybe there is some gas left in the tank for Ethan Pocic, or you know what? Maybe I'm gonna go watch this center out of Arizona again. Maybe you know what? We need to fire up the Jager Burton tape a little more urgently, or the Pat
Is
Coogan
it Jager
tape.
Burton or Jager Burton?
They said Jager at the Shrine Bowl, so I'm guessing it's Jager. I would have thought Jaeger, but
Yeah.
they called him on the Shrine Bowl broadcast. They called him Jager.
Now, do those guys really know what they're doing?
I don't know, because there were a couple of times that a player caught a pass, and I'm waiting because I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's a Stanford helmet. Who is this guy? And they're just like, oh, the Stanford receiver here makes a big catch.
Okay.
So I have to go to the roster. I'm like, oh, C.J. Williams.
We're going to save our is the roster good enough for best player available talk next week.
Okay.
Because here's what I want to do. I don't know if you know this or not, but put out on Twitter. I said, hey, top 5 liked replies on Twitter
Yeah.
that are questions get answered on tonight's football and other F words.
Oh.
But they can't be heinous, racist, et cetera, et cetera. So I left it pretty open.
Okay.
So we're going to go through, and I'm going to go through this. So number 9, well, we just kind of talked about this. We're comfortable with the center group they have right now. Just answer that, Jimmy. So there you go. So we're going to go 5 more. So they had to be the most liked. And what's the one move you think Berganzi and Saleh absolutely cannot afford to whiff on
Ooh.
if they're serious about maximizing Cam Ward's window?
Okay, run the first part of that.
What's the one move you think Berganzi and Saleh absolutely cannot afford to whiff on if they're serious about maximizing Cam Ward's window? This is from Oilers X Titans, with also they have like a sea turtle in their name somewhere. It's very beautiful.
That sounds beautiful.
I wish you could see it.
Is it like a move they've already made that they can't afford
What's
to
the
whiff
one
on,
move
or
you
a
think
move to come?
Berganzi and Saleh absolutely cannot afford? So
Oh.
past move, current move, but them together. So it's actually post hire. So you can't say Berganzi cannot afford to fail on Robert Saleh.
Okay. Ooh, that's a tough one. I think so.
And Ross, think of your answers as well.
I might be in the minority on this, but I'm okay with where they stand at wide receiver right now. I like the addition of Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm still big on DK and Aya Manor, and I saw that they renewed Bryce Oliver as well. I think if they kept Calvin Ridley, that would be sweet, but you kind of talked me out of that last week, talking about making the numbers work. And so I think that's a really good deep draft. They could add to it on day 3 if they wanted. If they wanted to go receiver at 35, they could get a difference maker. The tight end room has rounded out a little bit, but they're on thin ice with this offensive line situation. And that's where I'm kind of like, man, you've got a young quarterback. If you draft Jeremiah Love, you've got an elite playmaker. You've got some talent in the receiving core. But this offensive line situation, if you didn't get it right, it has the potential to really fuck everything else up on offense.
Ross, what's the one move you think Berganzi and Saleh absolutely cannot afford to whiff on if they're serious about maximizing Cam Ward's window?
I mean, y'all been talking about it, but interior offensive line, it's such a big deal. And the protection, I mean, the quickest way to ruin a quarterback's progress is not give them the protection they need. So easy answer because y'all been talking about it, but that's what I'll go with.
I think mine is going to be the number 4 overall pick.
Yeah.
You can't fuck that up. And it doesn't have to be on Jeremiah Love, but you can't get Reuben Bain and draft Reuben Bain and him suck.
Yeah, that would
It will
be,
mitigate some stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you have Jermaine Johnson, and I'm just using Reuben Bain as an example. You have to go blue chip.
yeah.
That's the move to me that they cannot afford to whiff on. And listen, I thought the whole Jackson Slater article by PK was very good. I thought the framing of the actual tweet was terrible. He said the draft developer retain was all about like players like Jackson Slater, not players like Cam Ward. Let me just tell everybody something. If Cam Ward sucks, but Jackson Slater's good, Mike Bergonzi's still getting fired. Like there ain't no way around it.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was a terrible framing of the whole idea. Though the article itself does not really reflect what the tweet is trying to convey, which is a common practice here in social media. But at the same time, like draft developer retain, it starts with the QB1, 1.101 overall.
Yeah, a lot of that move kind of flipped the hourglass on him.
Someone goes, Baines is not blue chip. I'm like, no.
I'm not.
Like,
I'm not
they
there.
ain't even.
Some people would say Bain is a blue chip, but
Well, some people would say there's no blue chips, but Bain's the number one player, to be exact.
That's true, too.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's go to the next liked one. That is the most liked. Everybody gets around. Rank these salads. This is from Bustin' Diamond. Rank these salads.
Mm-hmm.
Cobb salad, Caesar salad, garden salad. I'll start. I'm ranking them Cobb salad number 1, garden salad number 2, and Caesar salad a distant number 3.
Caesar salad's going to be number 1 for me.
Terrible choice.
I don't even know what the distinction is between a Cobb salad and a garden salad.
Well, ham and turkey all up in there, boiled eggs.
I thought that was a chef salad.
That's both.
Well, then a chef salad's going to be my number 1, and then Caesar salad.
Cobb salad probably has a little few more, like you can get grilled chicken, Cobb salad, and all that kind of stuff.
And then whatever a garden salad is, it sounds like too many vegetables.
A garden salad is just your standard house salad.
Okay. I don't know what that is, but
well, I mean,
just lettuce and carrots.
Well, you get a house salad and you have a Caesar salad. Do you always go Caesar salad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When I have the option.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, the other option is the garden salad.
Okay.
Caesar salad, terrible choice. All right, Ross.
Pass.
He doesn't eat vegetables.
I eat meat. Pause.
Whoa. Okay.
I will say this: wedge salad trumps all. Wedge salad is the far superior salad.
Yeah, chicken salad, pretty good.
Yeah,
egg salad.
But no fruits or nuts in my chicken salad. Just give me the chicken, the mayonnaise, the celery.
Oh, I love put me some
just terrible.
Some grapes.
Terrible choices.
My wife's made some chicken salad with apple chunks in it before. It's pretty good. Egg salad, man.
Oh, I would say egg salad would be number 1.
I could inhale some egg salad.
Oh, it's coming out in the toilet, but I'll eat some egg salad. All right, the next one is going to be this is from League Winners. Do you think the Titans would be better off to just keep Calvin Ridley at this point? They need help at wide receiver, and they're not hurting for cap space. Even if he's not a wide receiver 1, isn't he at least an average wide receiver 2, and therefore worth hanging on to?
Yeah, I mean, from a personnel standpoint, I've been saying it this whole time. I'm not eager to push Calvin Ridley out the door. This offense needs playmakers. He's a playmaker. Maybe he didn't ascend to the level of Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase and all that, but I think from a fit standpoint, yes, absolutely. I'm good with keeping Calvin Ridley. I go back to last week and you saying that it felt impossible to keep him because of the numbers. And that's what scares me is I also don't want Calvin Ridley to completely tighten the pocketbook so that they can't do anything else either. So,
well, they haven't even cut L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah.
So there's some money gained from cutting him. At the time, I wasn't sure what their spending habits were going to be.
Yeah.
But it is looking like they're going to, they definitely are going to blow past even the cash spent in relation to the adjusted salary cap, which is the salary cap plus their carryover from last year. They're going to blow past it in cash. So they obviously don't have any concern. And something that we're going to talk about on Friday on Cover 2, we didn't have a lot of time to talk about today because of the men's basketball tournament for the SEC.
Yeah.
But it's like, I know everybody's so wrapped up in the titles of an X receiver or a Z receiver and a slot receiver and all that kind of stuff. Chimere DK, Elikai Manor, and Calvin Ridley can all play the X spot. It's the problem that you have is making those a static, stationary spot.
Yeah.
So, like, that was the problem with Calvin Ridley at Jacksonville, is that he was static, always at the X, never moved around, never in motion, never at the Z, never in the slot. He was always the X. That's the issue. And when you look at this team, this team is better with Calvin Ridley than Wan'Dale Robinson, Chimere DK, Elikai Manor, draft pick, and Bryce Oliver.
Yes, I
This
agree.
team is better that way unless you're going to be able to get Jawan Jennings for less than Calvin Ridley, with the understanding that you don't have a 1,000-yard wide receiver on the outside without Calvin Ridley. Jawan Jennings never got 1,000 yards wide receiver. And then I'll say this. Wan'Dale Robinson, only reason he got 1,000 yards because Malik Neighbors got injured. So you guys have to understand you're not getting a 1,000-yard wide receiver. And that's perfectly fine. But go in with those expectations.
Yeah. Someone should ask Brian Dable at his next media availability kind of how he defines his receiver roles, because I'm with you. Like, move guys around. These guys
just get good players.
These guys can handle it. Just add talent to that room. But I am curious to see if, does Brian Dable have rigidly defined roles for the receivers, because that might influence the team building in a certain way. But it could also be the first sign of, like, I don't know, this might not work. Like,
Bergonzi's listening a lot to his coaching staff.
Yeah, so I don't know. I would be very curious if someone with press credentials at the press conferences could
this
ask
is what
that.
we're going to hopefully talk about tomorrow. But Joe Blacko says need a true X. No, you need a true wide receiver.
Yeah, you just get a playmaker.
You want Jackson Smith and Jigba, is he a true X?
Oh, see, well,
he's not. Though, like, there's no need to.
I know
don't
I'm
get
being
philosophical,
technical. Like,
though.
Depends
That's
on
what I'm
how
saying.
you define your X. Some
But I mean,
teams
like,
are different.
Okay, we're not talking about is he a wide receiver one, because that's not how Joe Blacko's talking about it. Is he an X wide receiver? No. I mean, there's just, I don't know why you're taking your time answering this.
Well, but because, like, some teams view X as the wide receiver.
Okay, you're overthinking.
Some teams view X as, like, the
we're talking about Joe
guy.
Blacko. Do you think Joe Blacko's a big is he working for an NFL team right now?
Sometimes your X receiver is just the one guy on a 3-by-1 formation. So it depends on how the teams. So I think there's probably a world where Jackson Smith and Jigba could be an X, depending on how the team uses him.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Do you think that in terms of how fans think about an X wide receiver, because remember, do you think Jackson Smith and Jigba and Elikai Manor are an X wide receiver? And the reason I'm saying this and harping on this is because Jackson Smith and Jigba can play in the X.
Yes.
But he's a wide receiver one without having to be an X wide receiver exclusively.
Yeah.
That's where I'm trying to get at.
Well, I agree with that.
I'm trying to get to positionless wide receiver.
Yeah.
Jack Smith and Jigba, guess what? Can line up. Because the only thing that really separates an X wide receiver from a Z wide receiver is where they line up in the formation. It's not really their talent. Now you can mask talent deficiencies by saying, okay, well, this guy can't get in and out of his breaks very well, so he obviously can't be a Z.
Yeah.
And he can't do this and he can do that. But like Jack Smith and Jigba can do it all.
Yeah.
But he's not an X-exclusive wide receiver.
Yeah.
And that's the point I'm trying to make is like these guys that say that you need an X.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have an X in Elikai Manor.
Yeah.
The problem is with Elikai Manor is that he really struggles doing everything else.
Well, he just hasn't developed.
He hasn't developed, but
he's a young player.
Yeah. Well, he's a fourth round, rookie or was, but at the same time, you don't have to find that guy in the first round. You don't have to find that guy in the second round. You just need to find good football players.
Yeah, I would agree.
So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
And I think Chimere DK is big enough to play some X.
Because I will say this, Joe Black was saying X is a skill set. I would say that football players I've talked to don't necessarily agree.
Yeah.
X is a handicap.
I would say, sorry, Zach.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, with the receivers we have on our roster, I think all of them, as of right now, are movable pieces except for Elick. I don't think Elick can go in the slot. I think Wandell can go outside. He would probably need to be off the ball because of his frame, but he can be moved around. Elick, there's no way he can be productive out of the slot.
I would agree. And I've seen some people say Mike Evans and Jamar Chase and all this stuff and want to say this and that. They also, if you lined him up at the other position, if you lined Mike Evans up at the Z, if you lined Jamar Chase up at the X, they're still going to be Jamar Chase and Mike Evans.
Pretty sure Jamar Chase was more of a Z.
That's what you said.
We're getting into some. Oh, I thought you said Jamar Chase and Mike Evans is.
Well,
the
I
X.
said if you swapped them.
Oh,
like if Jamar Chase was lined up at the X and Mike Evans was lined up at the Z,
Gotcha. Okay.
they would still be those guys.
Yeah.
You know why? Because they're fucking talented guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's the point. You want talented wide receivers. And like Stephon Diggs, I think, is a great example.
Oh, yeah.
ZX slot.
You're right.
He lines up everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's not worry about the prototypical look of a player.
Yeah, well, we're getting
look
into...
at the talent of the player.
We're getting into the semantics on an offense that we haven't even really seen yet. I mean, we can make assumptions about what we think Brian Daboll's going to run, but, I mean, I don't know that they've designed the offense for 2026 just yet. So, like, I go back to... I just think that would be a good question to ask him. Like, does he have defined roles for his receivers? And I don't know that he's going to, tell people, well, this is what I have for my X guys, and this is what I have for my Z. And
I bet that he would
teams,
tell us the same thing that we're saying right now.
They better put Rayleigh in the slot. Zach, you remember week 1 going in that Denver game on the show? All three of us were saying put him in the slot if Pat shadows him, because it is much easier for a receiver to go into the slot than it is for a corner who plays outside corner.
Exactly. Yeah. It's better to have parts on offense that could play multiple spots instead of being static. And everybody's like, well, you need a big vertical threat. That's now the new thing. You need a big vertical threat. Well, Chimere DK and Calvin Ridley are both over 6 feet. Elikai Manor, definitely both over 6 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Two of those players can definitely go over the top of the defense. I mean, that's Calvin Ridley's and Chimere DK's forte. But just because you can do that doesn't mean you're good. Mm-hmm. Now, those guys, I would say, are better than most. But, like, you could bring in Jalen Hyatt. Big, tall guy, vertical threat. Cedric Tillman, same way. They both suck. Yeah. Sorry that those are University of Tennessee guys. It just happened to be the first two on my head.
Keon Coleman.
But, like, okay, let's say this. Let's say you're in a draft and you had and I know these probably weren't the picks. They were, just bear with me. The 10th pick and the 14th pick in the draft. And you drafted Jalen Waddle and Devontae Smith. Are you crying about it right now? No. Are you worried as a team who's the X and who's the Z, who's the slot?
No.
And remember, the Dolphins went and got Tyreek Hill. That's not a prototypical X. Jalen Waddle's not a prototypical X, but they still somehow got 4,000 yards out of Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, like, this idea of we got to break the veil or shatter the ceiling or shatter the glasses of what is necessary in today's NFL to run a functional offense.
I'm also curious because if they go, y'all stop me if we're getting too into the weeds, but like if they go true like Earhart Perkins and they call plays the way the Brady Patriots did, where it's like 2 words, motion cross, and it means the left of the formation runs a motion, the right of the formation runs cross, whatever those concepts are defined within those offenses. But then if they get up to the line of scrimmage and Tom Brady sees a certain coverage, he can swap and say, hey, instead of motion cross, it's cross motion, or it's, tight motion, like changing it up. And the concepts from left to right are interchangeable. Well, then, like, your guys are lining up in a way that if they have those options to just run whatever's in the playbook, then it really doesn't matter how we define the roles, because it's not a very rigid offense. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, don't sense? You want to be a little bit less predictable? If Elikai Manner's on the field, you know how they're going to use Elikai Manner, and you know what he can do. If you have a Chimere DK, Calvin Ridley, I mean, even Wandell, and you got Wandell split out wide, but you have Calvin Ridley in the middle, or you have Calvin Ridley and Wandell split out to one side. You have Gunnar Helm on the far other side, and then you have Chimere DK in the slot. You're creating mismatches.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that people want to construct an offense based on these kind of prehistoric views of what a receiver has to look like, you are limiting yourself. I mean, to be honest, let me go back to Seattle. I don't want to bring up JSN again because we got kind of in the weeds on that. But Rashid Shaheed and JSN, those guys are kind of categorically slot and Z, but they were used all over the formation.
I was going to say they're kind of scheme-proof.
Yes.
You put them anywhere, and they're going to make plays.
And that's what you're looking for. Yeah. Everybody wants an X, or everybody needs to have a Z, or everybody needs to have a slot. No, you need scheme-proof guys that put the defense in conflict, where if you line up a certain way, you're, as a defender, and you see the offense line up in a certain way, you kind of feel a little fucked, or you feel a little cornered.
I think it's fans kind of looking at the receiving room and saying, hey, what's missing? Because, well, maybe Ayu Manor wasn't as red hot as we thought he was going to be his rookie year, so maybe they've got to upgrade that spot because they don't have another guy that's like a big-bodied ball winner, which I don't even know that I believe Ayu Manor is at the next level. I think he's this might be a hot take, but I think he's far closer to like a move speed guy than he is like physical catch point guy. But I also, and maybe one of y'all can correct me if I'm conflating two offenses here, but if they go true Earhart Perkins, I don't know that offense has like XYZ tags. I want to say the receivers are numbered in that system. And it's like left to right, inside out, whatever, however it's defined, but it's not XYZ, it's 1, 2, 3. And it's not like the similar defined roles, because I know there's a lot of like choice routes in that offense, but it's like, if that's really the heart of what Dable's going to be doing here, it's like you've got to line up where you line up, and you've got to be able to run anything we need you to out of that formation.
People are trying to say Cup was the X, and I'm like, since
for
when?
What? For who?
Exactly.
Eastern Washington?
I mean, like, and people are trying to bring up Torrey Horton and all this stuff, but the point is,
Torrey Horton wasn't an X.
Yeah, I mean, like,
See,
again, this is where it goes to
like,
the point where people think that size equals X.
Yeah, and
that's why I was trying to push back on. I understand where you're coming from, but I'm trying to push back from what the fans view traditionally as an X.
How about this? We've got to know if Brian Dable even wants to use an X.
Yes.
And if he is going to use an X, how does he define an X before we can say the Titans need to go get an X receiver?
I mean, again, I go back to Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
Those guys were on the field the majority of the time. Are we really concerned with who was that the Dolphins didn't have an X?
I mean, but that's like, who knows? Like, who knows that Mike McDaniel even wanted an X?
And my other thing is that Joe Blacko, who I'm really in a fight with over this, is kind of who Steve.
Do you just want to
just beat the shit out of him in the parking lot? Maybe. But no, like, seriously, I love that Joe Blacko interacts, but I feel like he has such a traditional view of how offense is supposed to run. He goes, well, size creates a mismatch. I would disagree with that, and I would think, how many times have we seen Diamador Lenore, you know, he's the first one off the top of my head, a smaller corner, Roger McCreary, or even Upton Stout, and I guess I'm just going through San Francisco and West Coast, but like these smaller corners or smaller safeties,
Yeah.
their size does create a mismatch, but the real mismatch is how you read an offense or how you read a defense.
Yeah.
Those are the mismatches. Yes, John Ross is super fast. And, hell, Deontay Thornton is super fucking massive and super fast, right? He would be the prototypical person that creates a mismatch. Anybody remember Deontay Thornton touchdown off the top of their head last year?
I don't. How often did they even play him?
Let's check. Let's check Deontay Thornton's stats real quick.
Because they seem to have an aversion for their rookies. They had Jack Besh there too, and they couldn't figure out how to use him.
Deontay Thornton, 10 receptions for 135 yards and 0 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know why he didn't have better than that, despite the size, despite the athleticism, is because he doesn't know how to play the position. At that point in time, he did not know how to play the position. At that point in time, he didn't know how to read a defense. Because guess what? Receivers have to read the defense just as much as a quarterback does in some cases. He didn't know how to do that.
Yeah.
So to me, how many times have we seen size and speed not match up to production?
Quite a bit.
Too many to count.
Yeah.
So we have to understand, again, I would love Deontay Thornton with Jackson Smith and Jigba's route running, with Cooper Kupp's work ethic, with the ability to diagnose the ins and outs like a Mika Ibuka. Guess what? Good fucking luck finding that guy.
Yeah.
You have to find a guy in today's NFL that is versatile, that is fast and athletic, but knows how to process the information in front of him. It's just as valuable as a quarterback. Okay, so we only got 2 more questions. Because
Joe Blacko had to interject again and said size matters in the red zone. I'm going to be honest, Joe, scheme matters in the red zone more than size.
What are you – but you've got Gunnar Helm, who's got a wingspan that he could be your X if that's how you define your X.
Like, I mean, how many times have we seen even smaller guys just constantly Jamison Crowder. The only reason anybody knows Jamison Crowder's name right now is because that dude got open in the end zone, in the red zone.
Fantasy points. But to Ross's point, is
everybody just wants to make an excuse of why it has to be their wide receiver instead of just understanding, just get good players.
Yeah, just get good players. Scheme in the red zone. I like that.
Like, DK Metcalf has all of the physical traits in the world. Why is he not the best receiver in the league consensus year by year? Why? He's not a great route runner, and he's not consistently making contested plays.
Preach.
That's a good point.
Preach. All right. Okay, we got 3. Did I say 2 questions, 3 questions?
2 questions.
2 questions. Does Salah's gold finger at developing linebackers put Styles out of the running at pick 4? Do you think he prefers Bain and Bailey to potential freak athlete off-ball linebacker?
I kind of feel like he would – I think he'd be all right with Sonny Styles, adding him to this rotation. I don't know. The heart of that question, I feel, is, well, can they pass on the talent because he can develop a younger guy? I think it's one of the missing ingredients if we're to presume that he's going to run the Titans defense the way he ran his other defenses. I think it's an interesting question because I don't think they have the linebackers that are typically most successful in his scheme. Cedric Gray, I'm confident in his downhill gap filling, read and react, diagnosing against the run, improved dramatically. You don't remember that? The Titans receiver coach in that interview said somebody asked him how they were improving. He said dramatically.
No, I do not.
Um,
I thought you just fucked up.
No, it's Frisman Jackson, I think was his name.
Oh, did he really say that?
Yeah. So maybe he improves dramatically and can get better in coverage, but I really struggle with where Cody Barton fits into this defense.
I agree.
I think there is room to upgrade and get the rangier linebacker, but I just don't see how you can look at this linebacking class, and I'm encouraged by it. I think there's some good options there, but I don't see how you could be so confident in your abilities that you could say, you know what, let's bring in Caleb Elarms-Orr. He's going to be our starter. Unless we don't need this Sonny Styles guy. Like, Sonny Styles is fucking good, man. That's kind of where I'm at, is like, just don't pass on the talent. If you want that linebacker in your defense, Sonny Styles is probably your best option at this point.
It's going to be really hard for me to change this narrative of what I'm about to say.
Okay.
I love both Jeremiah Love and Sonny Styles.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Arvell Reese too.
Mm-hmm.
But I am out on Bain and Bailey at number 4. And here's why. Because I want playmakers and I want blue chip talent. And right now, if you're to look at this team, I would say that Sonny Styles fits best player available in need like a glove right now.
Yeah.
But Jeremiah Love, and this is what I said earlier today, Jeremiah Love touches the ball 300 times.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't pass up playmakers. So I don't think to answer his question, Sonny Styles is not out. And I really think that Bain and Bailey are out.
Yeah.
Reese is probably a maybe, but I think it's really down to Love and Styles at 4. And I can't think of a better situation for the Tennessee Titans other than trading back to where I'm not happy walking away at 4 right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. To the golden thumb part, does that, if you're trying to split hairs between Love and Styles, does that come into the conversation? If you're sitting in that war room and you're splitting hairs trying to decide between these two prospects, does it come up at all like, well, hey, Coach Sala's really good with linebackers. Maybe we can get a value guy. Maybe we get a Jake Golday at 35, and so we go with Jeremiah Love.
You've lost me on that one.
You don't like Jake Golday?
No, not at 35.
I think that's what it's going to take if you want him.
Well, then maybe you just don't get a line. That's the issue that I have with this current linebacker room, too. We talk a lot about center, but it's just like it's Cedric Gray and James Williams and –
well, Cody Barton's still there.
Yeah, he's there.
Okay, Jake Golday's a bad example, but maybe it is
I get
like
what you're saying.
Keyshawn Elliott on day 3.
That would be, I think, in this particular team, I think that is a valid argument because I think what they've done in the cornerback room and what they've done on the defensive line from one spot to the other in the 4-3, yeah. I mean, I would agree with you, to be honest. Like, I think that right now all signs point to, in a tiebreaker, Jeremiah Love gets the edge.
Yeah, I liked Jake's comment in the chat. Draft Styles and turn him into an X.
There you go. Okay, last one. This is from Tachyonic End 3.
Okay.
Paul, Buck, Easton, Tehran, and myself get into a fight.
Who?
Paul.
Who's myself?
Me.
Okay.
Paul, because he's responding to me, so I'd assume it's me. Not
okay,
you.
Gotcha.
Paul, Buck, Easton, Tehran, and myself get into a fight. Rank 1 through 5 on who wins the fight down to who's out first. So winner, number 1, out first, number 5.
There has to be a winner?
Oh, there's definitely got to be a winner in a fight.
See, I
What
don't.
kind of fights you been in?
I don't know. Oh, that's tough.
So I got.
You
a
answer
question.
it. You answer
Okay.
it.
Buck is out first because he takes himself out of the fight. He doesn't want to get into a fight, so he's going to take himself out of the fight.
See, I thought you might take yourself out of the fight.
I'm fucking knocking some heads if I can.
Okay.
So Buck takes his out first. He's like, hey, I have too much, on the line, money maker, blah blah blah. He takes his out. He goes out first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think Paul is the next one to go down, and the reason being is because he's a little bit older.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
I think
he's not much of a fighter either.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a lot of history there, but
And he's a scrappy guy.
yeah.
But from hearing him on the radio, he's very much like, I want you to punch me so I can sue you vibes. I don't know that he wants to like throw hands. You know?
So we got Buck out first. He takes himself out. Paul probably goes out next.
Okay.
I'm going to say Easton goes out next. If it's down to a triple threat, Easton's out of here.
See, that's the thing is like, I look at Easton's build. He's a little bit younger too.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, he's got the frame where he could probably do some damage, but I feel like you and TD have a little more dog in you.
Well,
and
we're gonna gang up on him too. Let's just be honest. Because it's kind of like in the Royal Rumble when you're down to 3 and you're looking at the guy across from you and you like point at the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a numbers game at that point.
Yeah.
And then TD's gonna whip my ass, no doubt. See, I mean, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
I would say TD wins.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. So I'd go.
Who in the group is willing to do some low down, dirty cheating?
Oh, definitely me.
So that might give you an edge.
No, but at a certain point,
dick,
I mean, I know that Eddie Guerrero beat Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
At one point, lie, cheat, and steal. I just know probably TD's going to kick my ass.
Mm.
I am willing to, as long as there's like no disqualifications or something, like kick someone in the nuts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like I'm not going to try.
Yeah.
But I just kind of know. Like, TD's going to whip that ass.
Yeah.
I think that's all very logical and sound.
Ross, do you have any thoughts on that? He left.
Sorry,
Ross
I'm
left.
back. I agree with TD.
Yeah.
I think I would lean TD. Who's out first is the difficult one for me.
I just think that's going to be Buck is just going to be like, yeah, I'm out.
I'm not doing this.
I'm not doing this.
My only question with TD is I don't know if he has the mass to take a lot of blows. You know what I mean? That's my only question with him.
See, that's where I come back to Easton. Like he's got the frame. Like
he's seeing stars, brother.
Like, are you saying that he's the Pillsbury Doughboy?
No. I just mean he's got a pretty sturdy build to him.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely has a low center of gravity.
Yeah, so but
he has no height advantage.
And
even I'm taller than Easton, I think.
I don't.
I think I am.
I just don't know that he has the same kind of dog. He has the same scrap, you know, because you get in a fight, man, all the chips are down. Like it's
he also has a
flight.
family he has to worry about too.
Yeah.
Like, he's got to be there for his family, and me and TD are going to have him seeing God.
I could also see Paul just like gouging somebody's eyes out.
Someone says I have too much muscle. I'm like, but it's like, so I was getting my LASIK done, and they were like, I was in there with Lauren, and they go in the office. They go, make sure you don't lift any weights, and I go, look at me, bud. I said, when do you think is the last time I picked up a weight?
Yeah, I don't know. We should try and arrange that. See if everybody's willing to fight and just see what happens.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, that'll do it for us.
Is that it?
That's it. This is the 5th question. I said 5 questions.
Yeah, you did.
And we got off on a whole nother tangent, so.
Well, you know what? I just think.
Here we go. No, we're not going to get on another tangent.
Things aren't so cut and dry. Stop saying we need an X receiver if you don't even know what
that's
the
what
X
I was trying
receiver
to
is
get
going
to.
to be.
That's why we got into this whole off the cuff thing. So that's exactly what I was trying to get to.
Yeah, that's all.
Get good players.
Get good players. Yeah.
Draft good players. Sign good players.
It ain't for everybody to worry about.
All right. When's the jersey reveal? Like, why is everybody on here looking for isn't it going on right now?
Do we have a lot of viewers because of the jersey reveal?
Jersey reveal happened like 3 hours ago.
I was about to say, it's already on Twitter and stuff. Like, why is everybody here for the jersey reveal? All right. Other than that, Okay, next week, big announcement. Next week will be the actual biggest announcement in Football and Other Efforts history.
Yeah.
We just had the second biggest announcement, which is this announcement, which is saying, hey, next week we're going to have a huge announcement about the draft party.
We have an announcement about the announcement tonight.
Yeah, for next week.
For next week. Yeah.
Huge announcement next week. Biggest announcement I've ever heard. There we go. Football
Cool.
and Other Efforts. And you have just been effed.
Yeehaw.